Hey guys, I thought I would do something a little different today and just see how a video like this does. Basically, this is bird's eye view, Becky's view of a 10-minute ride that I do around my house. This is kind of like a rip that I do almost every, maybe like 4 times a week on whatever bikes I've got in my garage. Today I'm doing it on my 2002 Harley Davidson Chrome Sportster. I was speaking in this video. I kind of wanted to have it be like a first person speaking video while I ride around town, but the sound is just really bad. Like, you can't hear me talk at all while I'm riding, so I need to hook up a microphone to my new camera. I'm using my brand new Insta360 Ace Pro 2 with the chin mount on my Bell helmet eliminator in this video. So yeah, I have never used this camera. This was literally the first horizontal video that I took with this camera ever. So I'm still just learning how to use it. Honestly, I think it's the best freaking camera I've ever owned. Like, not only does it look so cool, but it's just so easy to use, and it has like a Leica lens in it. It's just amazing, man. But this was tonight. Today's January 3rd. Gonna upload this tonight and just give some content to you guys tomorrow. Long Beach is where I've lived for the last 6 years, which every time I say that, it's like the craziest thing, because I feel like I just moved here. Like, California, every time I go outside and I see these palm trees, I'm like amazed that I live where there's palm trees. Like, to live in Long Beach, California is such a dream. Okay, so this girl's on a frickin' Super 73. She rolls up beside me a couple times. She has 2 puppies in that backpack. Anyway, California is just so cool to live here. Obviously, there's downsides. In this video, I talk about how I live in a 2-bedroom apartment that I rent with a 1-car garage, and I drive just like a shitty old car and stuff. And like, if I lived somewhere else, I for sure could, you know, own a crazy house. Like, I make good money, but you trade it off living in California to you know, have the beach and have the weather and stuff. And the thing is like, if I lived somewhere else, like, yeah, I probably could afford all this other stuff, but would I be as successful? I don't know. You know, living in California has, especially in Los Angeles County, like, I'm able to have so many more opportunities here. Like, all the head offices are here. When I lived in Canada, it just was always like, I worked through distributions. There wasn't big budgets. Oh my gosh, this is where I realized there was dogs in that backpack. Dude, crazy. This girl was ripping too. Like, I couldn't even keep up with her. Anyway, yeah, California has given me so many cool opportunities, and I'm just like so grateful to live here. I think a lot of people don't really know my story on YouTube, because I wasn't YouTubing when I first moved here. I only did Instagram, and I have been doing social media full-time as a full-time job for 10 years now. And it just was never YouTube. It was just Instagram, and pretty much just Instagram. Yeah, I moved from Vancouver, BC, and I was completely homeless for 6 months. I lived in a van while I kind of figured out my paperwork to live down here, my social security number. This girl, man, she's crazy. And yeah, like, I used an immigration lawyer, but I kind of needed to get out of the situation that I was in Canada. I just was maxed out, and with how much I could make and how far I could go in this business. So I really just was like, my only option to continue hustling and being like a professional motorcyclist is to move to America. So I was in the process of getting my O1 work visa, which is a special ability work visa, which was for being a motorcyclist. I had already had tons of jobs that I was doing in the motorcycle industry, mostly working for magazines. I wrote articles for magazines pretty much full time, but I also rode bikes in ads and TV shows. I mostly worked on the TV show Riverdale. For the first 3 seasons, I worked on that show as a continuity character. I was a Southside Serpent. And then I also just did like background motorcycle stuff in tons of TV shows and movies. Like, I would double actresses. So literally the actress would walk to the motorcycle, and then I would just like back it into a parking spot. Like, they'd put a little wig on me underneath my helmet, and you would never know that it's not the actress. But actresses almost never touch the motorcyclist. Oh my gosh, this dog was trying to jump out of the car and attack me. But I really loved what I did, and I really didn't want to like just start working at a basic job. And I was in a 10-year relationship with a guy who I just did not want to be with anymore. We had been fizzling out for months. And I just kind of hit the wall. I kind of went crazy one day and was like, I'm out of here. I didn't have my work visa yet, but within 4 days, I broke up with my boyfriend. I gave away all my shit. I went on Craigslist and bought a van. It was like a 1997 Ford F-150 camper van. And then the next day I left, and I've never seen that guy again. I never lived in Canada ever again after that. I never knew that I was going to live in America. Oh, here I'm like showing all my favorite spots. This is 2nd Street, Long Beach. I ride down here all the time just to kind of like go for a ride and maybe see friends or whatever. But these are all the shops I go to when I just like walk from my house. This is like 2 miles from my house. You can get like shots here that have little hot dogs in them. And I go to a pizza place down here that I show you guys. Angelo's, I think it's called. Comment below if you've been there. They have this freaking ground up pepperoni pizza where the pepperoni is all ground up. And oh my god, dude, it's so good. And Roe up here, this seafood place, has the best poke nachos. Oh my god, Cody and I just go there and chomp poke nachos. 2nd Ave is so nice. This is a Friday night, so it's a little busy, but you know my skinny little sporty can fit through the crowds. So yeah, moving to California was a dream, and I kind of just did it on a whim, and I never really knew I was going to continue living down here, and I never really had this idea to start a brand or to like get this big on social media or to do YouTube or any of this really. Like, it kind of just was a continuation of everything I just loved doing. And I just, every time I was doing something I feel like I didn't like, I would stop doing that and try to focus on the things I did like. I do feel like people ask me a lot how I got to the place where I'm at now, and to be honest, I always saved a lot of money. Like, I've never been in debt, and I've never taken money from my family or parents or anything like that. Like, I have never in my life done that. I've always just saved a lot of money since I was a little kid. Like, when I was in school and stuff, I always took the bus. I didn't own a car. I never went out to eat, ever. Like, literally never went out to eat until I finally kind of made some money, which I swear to God was 2021 was when I first started being like, okay, Becky, like, you're gonna be okay. You can get a drink when you get food for lunch, you know? Like, I had never in my life got a drink to eat food with, if that makes sense. It was just like something my parents kind of taught me, and it really helped me, because when 2020 came, when I needed to get out of that situation in Vancouver, I got out of it because I had some money saved up to just buy the van and spend 6 months on the road. I did work throughout that time a lot, writing articles and still doing stuff on my motorcycle that I had down in California. And then when the pandemic hit and it was 2020, I had money saved up to start Axel Co. That's when I first started made my first shirt. So honestly, that was kind of like part of my story, just saving money, taking risks when I had the opportunity, and when the slow times came, just not being scared to like use my savings to take these risks. This is the first time in my life I've had all my dream bikes, have my dream life. I still obviously have a lot of gaps to fill, and I'm trying to build myself up to being like a successful adult. I'm 33 years old and I don't own a property yet, but that's something I'm in the process of doing. And that's kind of just like the story of how I got to live in this like beautiful place with these beautiful bikes and these cool people. I feel like my YouTube kind of doesn't know me that well because I have not been doing this very long. Like my other social medias, they know my story so much. Like my Instagram, I've been posting on it. The first post I did when Instagram started was me on a motorcycle. It was like 2013, I think. So I was one of the first women on social media riding bikes like this. And then like I took my experience from being a sponsored snowboarder to the social media thing, and kind of just like I knew how to market myself. I was in school for marketing. I worked at Red Bull as a Red Bull girl, and I had this experience of like brands wanting to work with me through being a good snowboarder. And I kind of just took those things and got brands to sponsor me as like a Instagram motorcyclist. And that's kind of just where my story began with how this became a job. I quit my job at Vans because I got a job working on a Converse ad, and then with a motorcycle, and then I never ever went back to working a real job again. So now you know a little bit about me. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Love you a lot.